Good morning and good evening, everyone, wherever you're joining from. And I am Nagesh. I'm going to the facilitator for this session today. And we are from Reliant Vision. And about us, we are the technology leaders, one of the technology leaders from IT industry. And if you see in the current world, right, so a lot of demand from the customers saying that how they can enable their business with IT so that they can generate more revenues and get more sales from the customers. So looking at this overall scenario in the current trend, so how this is how we are actually helping the customers and the business by enabling IT into their business. And apart from our core IT, we also started a leadership series. This is the first session, in fact, and going forward, you will see the series coming in on different topics, which would be helpful to all individuals because we all believe that every individual is a leader. That's how we co-created this organization as whole. Okay, so the today's topic. Let me share my screen. So the today's topic is more about the leadership lessons. Uh, and what we experienced from our organization. So based on that, we're going to share the experience here. And you might be hearing what is leadership and what is a leader. So there are multiple training sessions across globe, but whatever we learned from working here at Reliant Vision, so we are going to share that experience. So as I mentioned about me, I'm Nagesh. I'm based out of Hyderabad, working as an agile coach, working for one of the fintech companies, as well as I'm also an executive coach and life coach, global member of International Coaching Federation. I also work for social impact initiatives. I am also part of Cyber Security Council, who promotes women's safety and child safety. This is as part of the community services I volunteer. So very interesting thing, right? I mean, many people talk about leadership and the different frameworks, and there may be seven C's of leadership, and effective leadership, or different leadership lessons we learn. But this is something very new, interesting topic I wanted to bring it today. So what is that? Is there something that we can learn from nature? Is the question. So that we are going to explore in today's session. So before we move on, I would like to ask the participants, what's your view on the leadership? Is it a position? Is it a position? No, it is not a position. So what it is? Is it a designation? No. Is it a quality, something which everyone can carry? Maybe. Maybe different views. But for me, the leadership is not a position. Leadership is something beyond position. It may not be only a position, but it's something which you are as an example, and how you lead yourself. I mean, if you look at the overall, maybe it's the 80s or maybe during the freedom time, if you see Mahatma Gandhi, we name him as a leader. The reason, there are many followers. If you see um, Chhatrapati Shivaji, or maybe some other leaders like Subhash Chandra Bose, Alluri Sita Ramaraj. So there are these all people are freedom fighters, and they used to have followers. So that time when the leadership definition was leader who has followers is called as a leader. But in the current trend, you may not have followers, but still you called as a leader. The reason is you be an exemplar. Example, look at Abdul Kalam ji. He's a great leader. I mean, he may not have a team structure like, hey, these all are people reporting to me. But end of the day, he's an exemplar to the entire nation and the entire world. That how a person can be so humble, how a person can bring that humility in their life, though he knows everything, but very humble that he doesn't know anything. So that is the overall thing. So we just explored what is leadership. It's not a position. That's what we understood. Then it's about example how you want to be to the world. And very interesting thing, right? Is it about we always need to lead to become a leader? May not be. Because as a leader, in my understanding, you also need to follow. This is something very interesting, right? Sometime back we mentioned like we need to have followers. Now we are saying leader needs to follow. Leader to follow whom? Leader should follow his own awareness, his own consciousness. You might be thinking, what is the benefit of following uh, his own awareness and the consciousness? There are larger benefits, but we'll be exploring that through the nature, what we are learning from our nature. If you see, Albert Einstein clearly mentioned sometime, the look deep into the nature and then you will understand everything better. You no need to go here and there to search for solutions for the existing problems. We all learn from our own mother nature. So that is what we are going to look at today. Okay, let's jump on. So something, what are the lessons we learned from Eagle? Okay, so this entire session, it's going to be like an interactive way. So I would expect the participants to reflect what I am going to share through videos so that they can share their experiences. Okay, let me share the interesting video. Is it visible for everyone?
Yeah, visible.
Okay.
Don't be a parrot in life. A parrot talks way too much, but can't fly high. But an eagle is silent and has the willpower to touch the sky. Here's the 7 mentalities that we can learn from an eagle. Number 1, eagles fly alone at high altitude. Eagles don't fly with sparrows, ravens, and other small birds, meaning stay away from narrow-minded people, those that bring you down. Eagles fly with eagles. There's a saying that goes like this: people you hang around will eventually determine the person you become. Keep good company. Number 2, eagles have vision. They have the ability to focus on something as far as 5 kilometers away. No matter what the obstacles, the eagle will not move his focus from the prey until he grabs it. Meaning, have a vision and remain focused in your life. No matter what the obstacles and challenges you may face, don't give up and you will succeed. Number 3, eagles are fearless. An eagle will never surrender to the size or strength of its prey. It will always give a fight to win its prey or regain its territory, meaning no matter what the size or big your problems are, don't give up. Instead, face it. Successful people are fearless. They face problems head on. Number 4, eagles are tenacious. Eagles love storm. When clouds gather, the eagles get excited. The eagles use the storm wind to lift themselves higher. Once it finds the wind of the storm, the eagles use the raging storm to lift itself above the clouds. This gives the eagle the opportunity to glide and rest its wings. In the meantime, all the other birds hide in the branches and leaves of the tree, meaning achievers are not afraid of challenges. Rather, they relish in them and use them for profitability. Number 5, eagles never eat dead things. Eagles never eat dead meat. In other words, an eagle does not scavenge. It only eats the meat from the prey it kills itself. Meaning, do not rely on your past success. Keep looking for new frontiers to conquer. Leave your past where it belongs, in the past. Number 6, eagles prepare for training. They remove the feather and the soft grass in the nest so that the young ones get uncomfortable in preparation for flying. And eventually, they fly when it becomes too unbearable to stay in the nest. Meaning, leave your comfort zone. There is no growth there. Last but not least, number 7, eagles possess vitality. When the eagle grows old, his feathers become weak and cannot take him as fast and as high as it should. This makes him weak and could make him die, so he retires to a place far away in the mountains. And while there, he plucks out the weak feathers in his body and breaks his beak and his claws against the rocks until he is completely bare. A very bloody and painful process. Then he stays in his hiding place until he has grown new feathers, new beaks and claws, and then comes out flying higher than ever before. Meaning, we occasionally need to shed off old habits, no matter how difficult. Things that burden us or add no value to our lives should be let go of. Thanks.
So there are a lot of lessons, right, we can learn from eagle. It's not that if you see the current world, we all living in the comfort zone. Maybe with living in the same technology, not learning the new technologies, or else we are living with our old habits which are not adding much value to our life. So moving away from the old habits, learning something new, which can help us to grow in our career and in the personal life. So these are the lessons we learn from Eagle, and there are many other lessons. Okay, and there is a beautiful quotation by Abdul Kalam ji. All birds find shelters during a rain, but eagles avoids rain by flying above the clouds. So the problems are common, but attitude makes the difference. We all go through the challenges, but only few people they face challenges. Okay, that's the people who have the courage. Okay, so these are the lessons we learn from eagle, and let's move on. What are the lessons that we can learn from ants? Okay, any reflections maybe we can share. If you come to the ants, right, I mean in our life we might have seen not even a single ant going in as an alone. So most of the time you see the ants in a group forming as a line or something. So during that line, right, if even if you stop or even if some object has come, it eventually the entire group eventually find another way to move forward. So the same thing happens in our life. Whenever we face any challenge, we should not stop because of the obstacles we are facing in our life. We never ever give up, and we always look ahead. And something very interesting about ants is like they always collect food before the winter comes. And this is something which is very positive, and they look at the forecast. Even if you see the current world, we are going through a lot of challenges, but are we really future focused? Are we really ready to face challenges in future? Something we can predict, but those are the lessons we can learn from ants. Okay, the next one, bamboos, the lessons from bamboo tree. What is something which comes to our mind when we see the bamboo tree? There are many lessons we can learn from bamboo trees, and something like There is a Chinese proverb like, be like a bamboo, the higher you grow, the deeper you bow. How you bring that foundation, or you lay the foundation with your values and belief system, which can help you to grow in your career, that is very important. So that we all learn from the bamboo tree. So if you see the bamboo tree, you mean there is a story like one person, he sowed the seeds of the bamboo, but over a period of time, 1 year it didn't come out, 2 years it didn't come out, but after 3 years it didn't come out, he fed up, he gave up, then it started growing. So this is what happens in our life, and this is one of the best examples that we can learn from the bamboo tree, saying that, hey, it's not that how fast you grow, but how deep you grow within. That is the adding value, and that's how we can grow in our life. This is one of the lessons. Okay. And one of the famous philosopher, he mentioned, there is one thing sure about life, life will push us hardly many times. Yes, absolutely. When you are pushed, don't be surprised, stay firm like a plain tree, or else like an elastic like bamboo tree. If you see, bamboos are always like very flexible, it always move towards the window. That's how it is, very flexible. If you see other trees, right, if they get storms or something, very heavy wind comes in, then they just fell down. But it's not the case with bamboos, because they have a deep uh, growth in that. So even when it comes to the human being, the people who have the deep within, they always face challenges with a lot of courage. They never ever give up easily. So these are the lessons we can learn from bamboos. And coming to the butterfly, if you see, butterfly is not something which come out all of a sudden overnight. This actually transformation. This is a classic example of the transformation. Like it actually starts from the egg and caterpillar and slowly moved as a butterfly. This is it something really easy? No, there's absolutely a lot of hard work required. Or maybe the butterfly or the caterpillar goes through a lot of pain before it moves as a butterfly. Even in our life, everyone wants to be like a butterfly, but how many are we becoming like a butterfly? Because nobody wants the transformation to happen, but everyone wants to be successful. How that can be possible without transformation? Everyone needs to go through the transformation, always a better version of ourselves. I am Nagesh, I may look at in 2023 I am like this, but I need to identify what are my blind spots and need to work on them. That's how I can become a better version next year. So over a period of time, I will be working on the blind spots and the areas of improvement. That's how I can become a butterfly in my life. So these are the lessons we can learn from butterfly. Absolutely. So, but the butterflies are not called butterflies overnight. They have to undergo tons of changes in order to acquire that name, right? And there is a very a good example of leadership metrics. I'm not going in detail, but this is a recommendation that everyone can go through it. In the current world, what kind of leadership is required? There is a huge demand for humanity, but less supply. Everyone talks about innovation, technology, a lot of other things, but when it comes to the human aspect, who is considering that? What's happening? So leadership is necessary, but not sufficient in this compassionate leadership. Something we are going to explore now. So if you see the quadrant, there are I'm not going in detail, but end of the day, the need is we need more compassionate leaders who can bring humanity into the life, who actually interact with human beings, who consider the human aspect in everything, whatever they do. So these are the leaders we require, right? There are classic leaders like maybe Mother Teresa is also a compassionate leader. And even if you see Abdul Kalam, he is also a compassionate leader. There are many other leaders Like example, Narendra Modi, he is also a great compassionate leader, always talk about people and the welfare. Nelson Mandela. There are many other leaders who talks about human aspect. So those are the leaders world requires now at this time, because everyone is going through different challenges during the pandemic, and a lot of things happening across globe. If you see economy is going down, everyone is has that anxiety that where is my future? What happens to me if I lose a job? How can I take care of my family? If if you see the one part of the world, there is a war happening, look at their future generation, how much stress they are going to. So during this process of 2023, the compassionate leaders, more compassionate leaders are required for us to take care. Okay, and there is a very nice video. I will share the link with everyone. You can also go through it. Let me play it if time permit.
AD. Are you an introvert or a shy person? Do you not know what to say and you feel? A.D. Williams once said, imagine what 7 billion humans could accomplish if we loved and respected one another. Just imagine. Imagine if there was no greed. Imagine if there was no comparison. If everyone was running their own race, but cheering for all others at the same time. Maybe we'll never see that in our lifetime. But what we all can do is start with ourselves. Start with yourself. Choose to lift others up. Choose to set the example of kindness and integrity, the example of compassion and understanding. There's a quote that says, no matter how educated, talented, rich, or cool you believe you are, how you treat people ultimately tells all. Integrity is everything. It really is. Who you are is far more important than what you have, and it will always be. Who you are is measured by how you make others feel. Be kind to each other. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. Choose to be the change you wish to see in the world. Decide you will not wait for someone else. You will set the example. Be kind. Because you never know how much that person is suffering inside. You never know the difference your words can make, the difference your presence can make, the difference you can make to one human life. Be the reason someone believes in the goodness of humanity. Be the reason someone else decides to make a difference in others. Be the influence you want to see more of. Always do what is right, not what is easy in the moment. Kindness spreads like a virus. When you do good to another, that person does better to those they come in contact with. You really can make a big difference in the world today and every other day. Anne Frank said, in the long run, the sharpest weapon of all is a kind and gentle spirit.
Okay, with that thought, it's all about the kindness, it's about the humanity. That's the need of today. That's the need of the hour, I feel. So this is my thought. I would like to hear others' views. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, Nagesh, for the nice presentation. It was really wonderful, and we were able to understand the different horizons from you, and we'll definitely work on this.
Thank you so much. Okay, that's all for the day, and see you all in the next session. Thank you. Have a great evening and great day. Bye.